Bum, 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 bum.
Live?
We're
I
live.
think we're live. I
We're
got a
live,
head nod.
I think.
Yep, we're live. Welcome everybody to our Tuesday show. We are in the middle of an adventure told by our lovely Dan.
Hi.
Our entire group has traveled up to a tiny little town to investigate a disappearance that was kind of weird. And we're actually doing a decent job of uncovering the mystery. We did such a decent job.
I think so. I think that you were progressing quite rigorously.
Well, our
You're not
antagonists think
super
so
focused.
too, because
I
we
mean,
got jumped.
You're
There
typically
was
doing
an
well.
axe that was being swung at you.
You're typically
when-
doing well in any mystery when someone's trying to kill you. Is the rule of fictional mysteries.
Yes.
I would
That
say
is-
so. Or real life ones, maybe. I don't know. I've never
There-
investigated
there are-
anything beyond where I left the Lay's potato chips.
No comment.
Well, yeah. When last we left our crew here, they were looking into the disappearance of a young woman named Amanda Owens. There's been a lot of information that was turned up. Much of the investigation was concentrated on the owner of the local lumber company, Callum Jones, who they picked up vibes from and definitely had suspicions for. Specifically due to his claim that the lumber was so strong after the years of pollution had deleterious effects through quick thinking and new uses of more efficient technology.
I maintain he's just weird because he's the leader of the town where nobody leaves. Nowhere.
He's
I
so
don't
shady.
care how idyllic your town is. No town in America has an exit rate of 0.
I mean, he
We're
was
gonna end up
terribly
killing him.
polite.
Okay, but evil people are like always super polite. They don't want you to know.
I mean, I don't know if that's true. There's probably some rude evil people.
HOA lady is starter. Then we have the gym lady who was super nice to us. She gave us a free membership.
Yeah, okay, all right. You've
We're
got
going
some
3 for
points.
3 on this guy.
You've got some points. I won't lie. That exists. All right. Anything we have to cover before we start?
No, let's see what we can do about this
If we
axe.
cannot get hit with this axe.
All right. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. And with that, we will go ahead and return to Milton Falls. The exact moment that we left, you were following up with the Owenses, the mother and father of the young girl who had disappeared, and later had plans to meet up with her sister and her sister's boyfriend. And after having a relatively normal and pleasant conversation with them for a moment, the father, who was not displaying any animosity towards you before, came out with a big lumber double-sided axe and took a swing at Michael, which was largely helped. He was largely saved by his armor, but how much harm does that shave off?
Shaves off 1.
Shaves off 1. So you're still going to have 1, but it
You
would
said-
have been a worse blow. With it just nicking into the soft parts of your shoulder up here.
Okay.
And he has a blank look in his eye as he moves to try and attack again. You now all have the chance to respond.
Okay. What's our response order? Did we settle that or?
You said last time I managed to grab a hold of the axe and just swing it down to avoid some of the damage. Do I still have a hold of it?
Sorry, I actually misunderstood if you were trying to grab at the axe. I thought your role was to guard up against the axe. But if I remember, you rolled quite well.
I got a 7. If I'm blocking, I kind of keep maintain a hold on it.
Yeah, I will say that for now. At least until he loads up to swing again, you're maintaining contact.
I'm gonna pull my pistol and try to shoot him either in the thigh or in outside of his torso, not
Okay.
center mass, but just enough to.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead and roll it.
That is a 13.
13. Okay, wow. Now with a roll that well, are you trying to not damage him as much as possible? Are you trying?
I'm not trying to kill him. I'm trying to wound him pretty severely, take the wind out of him. Is it probably to shoot him right side chest through and through.
Okay.
I can patch that up. Don't worry.
I can patch that up.
All right. Yeah, it strikes home and causes his leg to buckle. But his eyes and his focus on you do not change. However, he does drop down to a knee and attempts to use the axe itself to steady.
And that's an extra 1 damage too, because I have the devastating move.
I will allow you, because of how good you rolled over a 12, to only do as much damage as you wish to. How many points of harm?
I'm gonna try to do full harm because I'm trying to take him out.
Okay.
So that'd be normally that's 4 damage, 4 harm from 2 from the pistol, 1 from my devastating, 1 from the crit. So.
All right. Well, in that case, yeah, you blow his leg apart.
I was going for chest. So.
Oh, chest. Oh, okay. You're shooting him in the chest. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Thought you said thigh.
Give him attention to him. Well, I can fix that easily.
In fairness,
Okay.
Dan, you said thigh, and Mike was like, "No, I'm shooting him in the chest, not the side with the heart, the other side."
All right. Got it. I misheard you. Okay. So you're shooting him with 4 harm in the chest,
Yes.
but not on the heart side. Okay, well, there is an enormous amount of blood immediately pouring out of there. He still, just buckles and falls down backwards and is trying to stagger his way up.
So the threat is not neutralized?
He seems to be coming even though he really probably shouldn't be.
All right.
No one else tried to kill this man. I'm gonna take out my mace and spray him in the face. Hopefully that doesn't
Just compromise his airway. You don't want to hit him with mace.
Who's got the next highest fight? I think that would be me, but I think that's funny, and she should go first and do that. Just personally, I think
Rose is very much on Team Edith of don't kill this poor man.
But he has to sit down.
Yeah, no, I want to see that. So go.
Sorry, you're the one who shot him in the chest.
It's not that big of a deal.
You
Mace
shot
him
him in the chest.
Mace him.
I mace him.
Okay, all right, roll that tough.
Since I said it, now it's happening, Mike. I recognize this is maybe not the best thing.
You're committed.
10.
Okay. All right. His eyes immediately water and start pouring and go deeply red.
I'm like,
and the area around them
so
looks
sorry, Mr.
extremely
Owens.
irritated, but he is not blinking.
Yeah. I am. Is he still on the ground?
Yes.
Yeah. Thomas will walk over after all that and just kind of mount him, get astride him, and try to shut his lights off with a punch.
All right.
A hard one.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, that is an 11.
Okay.
So
yeah, if all you're looking to do is deal enough damage to knock him out,
I can do
so.
If I can do 2 harm base, up to 3 with my red right hand, and up to 4 if I use my my devastating haymaker ability. But I would only like to knock him out.
Okay, cool. You easily do enough.
Yeah.
This is a very harmed person.
Yeah, just punch his clock and then get off of him.
Okay, sounds great. You do so. He's unconscious and bleeding a lot from the chest, and his
Yeah.
eyes.
Have you ever seen somebody who's been shot in the chest? They don't bleed that much. Because I've dealt with this.
Okay.
That said, I would imagine that he needs some medical
Yeah.
attention.
So I'll grab the axe, hand it to Rory, keep hold of this.
What do you want me to do with this?
Just
Make
hold
sure
it.
nobody else grabs it. Rip open his shirt. Grab Edith's hand. Here, put your hand on this. I'm gonna run back to the truck and get some things.
So wait, where is Mrs. Owens? Were we talking to her?
She's
in the doorway?
frozen.
Yeah, that's
She's
what
standing
Rose
there
was
like-
worried about.
Yeah, she froze. Something weird's going on.
I
Can
run back to the
Rose
truck,
turn
get the
her
first aid
away?
kit.
Yeah, if you want to just grab her.
She's
and
just
spin
gonna
her,
kind of like spin her away
Yeah, you
from
can do
looking
that.
at this.
You can do that if you want.
This poor woman.
All right. Mike runs back to the thing. Edith, why don't you go ahead and roll me a cool to maintain pressure on this effectively?
Okay. Oh, that's a 12.
12. Great. You are
God.
perfectly competent at this, and despite your feelings, you find you've gone through enough things being horrifying and there being horrible wounds enough around you that this is fine. You got this. It's cool.
I've been taking medic lessons from Mike. We're mostly okay. I don't like
All
this, but
When I get
Alright.
back, I put occlusives on the entry and exit wounds. I'm doing my first aid check.
All right.
Oof, that's a 10.
Not bad.
He's stabilized and healed of 2 harm.
All right.
I'm a
Great.
combat medic, so it's one of my
I mean,
moves.
he is. I'm just going to say that, like, that all happened very quickly, and game rules. Yeah, he'll be okay, but he's probably not going to be moving for a while. He got hurt pretty bad there.
It's
Yeah.
good that he's not moving because he tried to access. So.
Yeah.
And as we know, headshots causing unconsciousness do some serious damage.
I'm not sure if I followed everything here. Should I hold on to this axe? Do we think it's a magic evil axe?
make
No.
sure no one else hits us.
Yes.
I think this is pretty much evidence positive that something weird is going on here.
Grab a couple zip ties and zip tie both of them.
Okay.
Put him in reverse Trendelenburg, or Trendelenburg is elevated.
Okay.
Just keep monitoring him.
All right. Sounds
Make
good.
sure he's. I guess I know he's stable because the dice said he's stable, so I'm not going to worry about monitoring him. Really, I should be monitoring him, but I'm not going to.
Do you plan to stay in this place, or do you plan
I wanna-
to leave?
I want to find the girl's bedroom and see if I can find the book she was reading that led her on to people being seen behind people, what she was reading and what.
Okay, this location and the layout of the town means that you can probably get away with a gunshot, not attracting too much attention, especially with enough woods that hunting isn't infrequent. So nobody's immediately coming running. You are able to quickly scan through the house. It's pretty easy to tell the difference between Amanda and Chandra's rooms.
Let's bring everybody inside real quick before we
Right.
spend too much time in the house.
So
You want to
we
do
all-
what? Sorry.
Bring the 2 people inside.
Okay.
Just have them
Sure. You
laying
are
on the
able
couch.
to get them in a position like that. And secure them where they're not going to be seen. However, there is blood pooled outside of the front door.
take some turn on.
All right.
Work.
Sounds great.
The chest wounds don't bleed that much.
Now, I think when we say much, that's just what needs clarifying here. Because
Plus, probably
I
less than 100
cut my
milliliters.
hand, and there's going to be a decent amount of blood on the floor if it's a gunshot.
Well, if it's like new carpet, but
Yeah. I just think that any gunshot wound to anywhere on my body is gonna bleed enough to make a puddle.
Not a big puddle.
No, I mean
I
I'm not
just
saying
feel like
I'm not
muck is
saying the
very
person's
different.
like swimming. Just,
I mean,
there's
I-
blood on the ground.
I'm just gonna say, I feel like Mike might actually know what he's talking about.
I believe it.
I've treated at least a half dozen gunshot wounds to the chest, and none of them bled.
I'm
You
with
wouldn't be able to follow a blood trail from
I believe you that it's not as much as you'd expect.
Now, if you get like, a major bleeder, then yeah, it's bad, but he's not going to survive that.
Okay.
I said he's stable, so he's not going to bleed that much.
He was not a major bleeder.
So for all of you storytellers out there, just so you know, if you need to shoot someone, apparently it's hideable. As long as it's not the heart.
Like a forensic crew comes through, they're going to find blood drops, but just somebody walking by the house isn't going to see it.
All right, but we
Foot-wide
still
pool of
couldn't
blood.
stay here necessarily.
There'll probably be a
This-
stain on the couch, but
Place might
I
be-
wouldn't notice it, but my wife would.
You
My
wouldn't know.
man knows his stuff.
Yeah,
I'm both impressed and
But
terrified.
is not that into addressing small red stains on couches, apparently.
You know what I love? I love that my man's over here tabletop gaming like Liam Neeson's character from Taken. He's just over there like, if I was forced, put one through the chest, it wouldn't bleed. Nobody would ever know.
Well, he did roll it with a 13, so I feel like whatever he was.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we
Fictionally,
go
I
through the
mean.
house. We find the girls' rooms.
Yes. You are quickly able to tell the difference. One of them has lots of Fleetwood Mac posters, more like pictures of wolves and the moon and stuff like that up in it. And one of them has a lot more black and like just like a big gaming rig set up, as well as just a lot of kind of clothes hanging around on the ground.
Okay. So nothing suspicious. There's no journals. There's no notes.
Well, why don't
There's
you go
no-
ahead and look around for me? Why don't y'all investigate it a little bit more, eh?
I'm going to leave the two members of the party who used to be teenage girls to search the teenage girls' room for good hiding spots.
Fair enough.
Let them get first shot at it.
Okay, so
Shut away.
I am 21. Thank you very much,
What?
sir.
But you were a teenage girl more recently than I was. So.
It's fine. 13.
And I got a 10.
Y'all are rolling insane to start this night.
Till the final battle, probably.
I was gonna say to search a room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it actually makes me nervous when you lead with your luck. It makes me nervous.
Yeah, no, it's all right. When I drop a giant army of trolls on you later, it'll all be fine. So searching around, you are able to find a leather-bound notebook inside of Amanda's room.
Okay. What is in this notebook?
Here, hold on a second. You also find a number of crystals that she had in a little drawer. They seem to be a lot of them attached to like little lanyards and stuff like that. Like the kind that kind of hippie-ish or people into like sort of new age stuff tend to carry around. And were you also searching through Chandra's room? You find a decent amount of used beer bottles, as well as magazines for certain motorcycles, and it comes to like engineering tips and stuff. Some of it's like circled and like has notes scribbled on it, like this one, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Rory.
And you're going to be digging into that notebook?
Yes.
Okay.
Rory, while she's looking at the notebook, can you do your thing on these crystals and see if there's anything especially magic about them? I'll hold the axe for you.
All right. Well, if you say so, but if you swing it at me.
I'm making sure nobody swings it at any of us. That's
We
why
have
That
I
no
part
asked.
of the chest, though, that's the not bleedy one.
For the most part.
All right, you got it. Okay. 9, 10, 11, 12. Great. Rory walks up and starts looking at those crystals as you begin leafing through the notebook. And to get a firm reading on this would probably take about an hour or so. Is there anything you're scanning to look for?
I am looking for if there is any point where like handwriting changes, like because when you're journaling, there's like I'm sitting here and I'm journaling and I'm very comfy, and then there's also like agitated writing.
Yeah, there's some where there's like eyes dotted with little hearts and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And there are other later ones where it is seemingly more hurried.
Is that?
And
Oh, sorry.
and as you get to those portions, Rory's like, "Oh, actually, I think that this girl might have been an aspiring seeress. Some of these things might actually be functional. This ain't the cheap stuff that you can get, from every Tom, Dick, and Molly at the Wiccan festivals."
Like
Uh,
foreseeing the future, or
Well, I mean, sometimes the future, it's easier to see things that are closer by than that. But the future sometimes.
okay.
Can-
I would
Go
like
on.
to look at the latest like 3 entries.
Okay, sounds good. I'll get to you in a second, DM. I'll
Yeah,
let Chloe
no.
actually have it. But
She's doing the right thing. It gave me an idea that I can adapt. Don't worry about it.
cool. So, looking at those, she says, "I can't unsee them. It's getting in everywhere, and I've got to stop it. I've got to find a way to help them. I don't believe the way that they look at me anymore. It's not true."
Great. Can I quickly leaf through and see if there's any like clarity for what them is?
It's incredibly vague. She obviously was worried about this being found, but was obviously still trying to keep some kind of record.
Mm-hmm.
The entries tend to get a bit more frantic and worried
Mm-hmm.
as things hit a point where she starts talking about how excited she is that she actually got the spells to work, that she was actually able to look through the veil.
Okay. Is there any locations mentioned in that success?
She talks about wandering through the forest and seeing a fairy for the first time. She talks about finding a small circle that she knew better than to enter. And she talks about something strange out in the woods closer to the lumber mill.
Okay.
It looked orange when she peered through the glass.
Okay, now I'm looking for glass in her room.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a sharp.
Oh man. 6.
6. DM, did you have something you wanted to go for?
I was going to. I wanted to investigate just the space, the house, from a supernatural perspective, with my own knowledge, for other stuff that might happen. Or, I mean, I have my questions. If I roll well enough, you want me to
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
give an investigate a mystery a shot here?
Yeah. And Edith, looking around the room, you do not immediately find anything that would qualify to you as the sort of glass that she's talking about.
Okay.
Could you look through any of the crystals?
That's what I was gonna ask.
And, all right, DM, let's get back to you.
Yeah. I rolled an 8.
8. Okay.
Is that if I'm remembering
I think
correctly?
you get one question.
Yeah. Given my knowledge of the supernatural and sort of my innate ability to sense the veil, sense the barrier between worlds, are there any points in this place where that feels particularly thin, where something might have come through recently?
You don't feel anything from the location,
Okay.
but you feel something spotty and sporadic, light perforation all over the two Owenses.
Who is? Am I with? Am I closer to? I'm probably downstairs or around.
I figured if you were feeling that out, you were kind of
Yeah.
wandering the house a little bit.
Yeah, no, I absolutely was. I'm just one.
That would
Am I
be like
close?
down. They were put on the couch, I believe.
Okay. Am I alone in the room, or are any of you guys close? Or
No,
They
I'm
were up
upstairs.
looking in the room, and I think Rose was about to try looking through a crystal.
I'm going to let them finish that and sort of continue to go back to them. I have something I want to try with the Owenses when it's my turn again.
Okay, sounds good. So, Rose, you pick up and look through a crystal.
Yep.
Okay. Doing so, first Rory's like, now you be careful with that. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but sometimes you see more than you bargained for. And sometimes the seeing changes things. It's like them particles. I don't remember what they're called, but they do funny things, but they don't exist until you're looking at them
Right.
or something.
No, it'll be fine. It's not a big deal. I've read about this before.
Okay, cool, because I don't actually know how particles work.
Okay, cool. Well, me neither, so let's just do it. Right?
He nods. So looking through there, you don't initially see too much. But if you scan around the room, I would like you to go ahead and roll me a weird, please.
Okay. Oh, I think that's what's kind of good. I forgot every game I don't pull up my sheet, and then every game I'm like, I don't have a sheet. Here it is. Okay. It's gonna be 8 plus as soon as this thing would load.
Ooh,
Come on.
that's strong.
8's a good number. It's
like eight.
loading as slow as possible, but it's coming. Here we go. It's a sharp or a weird?
Weird.
Weird.
Okay. A weird is going to be. I'm so sorry, guys. My internet's 1,000 times slower than it normally is. Okay. It is a 9.
9. Okay, cool. Yeah, looking through it with a 9, you see things look brighter, more like they almost have a phosphorescence to them. It could just be the refraction inside of the crystal itself, the way it's shaped. However, when you move it over the journal, you see like little bits of like foresty green and cherry pink kind of wafting off of it.
Oh my god, this is cool. And she'll like rush over to Edith to look at the book over her shoulder.
We'll just allow her to use your weird roll for that one, so it functions at least while you're holding it. And yeah, you are able to see the book that you're holding having that effect.
This is super cool.
This is fairy magic. It's a trick and it's going to kill somebody.
Okay, no, it's not. That's dramatic. And she'll take the crystal back and start looking around the house for other glowing things.
Michael, you had one?
Is there a computer in this room? Like a laptop or a phone or anything?
Yeah, there's a laptop. There's some fairly old looking, kind of worn down Hello Kitty stickers and stuff on it.
Let's see if I can hack into that. Try to guess her password or whatever. If it's password locked, and see if I can check who she's been emailing, what website she's been searching.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and roll me a sharp, I suppose. And while you're working on that, DM, what were you trying to do with the Owenses?
So I have a power with my Hand of Fate that allows me to roll weird to interact with whatever's going on with them if it's of the other side. I can roll for it, but depending on how I roll, there's always going to be like a success or a consequence. So let me roll first.
Here, DM, since you're downstairs, I'm gonna let you have this, and you call for us if we're.
Yeah. We're gonna see what happens here. Okay, that's actually really good though. That's a 12. I want to know what happens when I interact. I should be given some form of like vital or relevant information when I make contact. But if I want to dispel it or do damage or do what I want, I would have to trade that with a consequence. So first, I'm just going to touch them with my hand and see what, if any, revelation comes.
Okay. And are you explicitly attempting to make contact?
I'm open to pretty much any outcome here. If something goes bad, I get the right to have something good happen too.
Okay. Sounds good. As you reach down to them, you do feel something strange, and attempting to touch those little rifts in the places beyond, it's scattered in them, not overwhelming them, but it is taking parts of them. And with as good of a roll as you've had, you are able to reach a bit further, and you understand the lungs. Mostly the lungs, and then in the bloodstream. And then both of them turn their heads to look at you at the same time.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to communicate, because a large part of me comes from either the same or a similar place from where they come from. So, hello.
Pleasantry. Not enough to talk here. You know things.
I know enough.
It's not enough to talk here. You have to go home.
Where's home?
place for the trees. Talk to us at the place for the trees.
Okay. If I agree to meet you at the place by the trees, will you let these people go?
Why?
Because this is their home. Both this plane and those bodies. You've taken it from them and you've brought them to harm.
We didn't shoot.
You tried to take his head off with an axe.
Didn't hurt them. You weren't supposed to be. We'll sleep. If you'll talk. We'll sleep for now.
We have an accord.
And then both of them flop into far more natural positions, obviously physically exhausted.
I stand up, take a deep breath, and call for the others.
Okay.
Rose, Mike, Edith.
You're a right bastard, Tom, forgetting about me.
Hey, Tom.
You got something?
Yeah, I've got something. What about you guys?
Yeah, look, and she'll hold up the crystal.
What is that?
Oh,
I
it's a
don't know, but I
magic
can
one.
see
It's a
cool
real one.
stuff.
It does the thing.
Does the thing? What thing?
And she will hold it up for him to look through.
Uh,
I don't know if there's anything that would be glowing in the area.
so if he's looking at it and he's near where he was, I'm guessing, scan over the Owenses.
Yeah.
You see from the center of their chest, and with a couple little flecks of it coming out of the hole that Michael had recently created, little orange glowing specks, seemingly centered through their lungs, rushing through and about, but also coursing through them.
Something from elsewhere got into these people. I spoke to it briefly.
Yeah? What did it say?
Not much. Scattered. It's in pieces. Not its whole self, but I know a little something about that. And it told me that if I wanted to speak to it further, I would have to go to the place beyond the trees. I would have to go home. And then if I told them that if I agreed to go, that it had to release its hold on these people. It agreed to go to sleep, which it's done, but it's still these poor folks just waiting.
Okay.
Hold on. And I'll take the crystal real quick. I just look at Mike, who ate the burger.
Smart.
Is there anything there?
So, roll me weird.
Oh my god.
No. 7.
7. That is enough to tell that there are the tiniest little flickering lights inside of Mike.
Mike,
But nowhere close, not even remotely to as much as these people. And if you scanned around, there'd be 1 or 2 little flecks in all of you.
Let me see that crystal. I'm just hoping a real bad experience for me.
All right.
Oh, dang.
So
6.
6, just enough so that you're probably mostly looking kind of murky. Hard to see through the veil.
But you're saying it's coming through the lungs, or it's affecting the lungs? like breathing in spores or something is affecting him.
Yeah.
Seems where that's centered.
So shooting him in the lung helped, actually.
I'm not going to give you that shooting him in the chest was a good move.
In fairness, he was an inhuman being at the moment, wielding a double-headed axe.
Rory, I have an
Fine.
albuterol inhaler in my first aid kit. You think you could do some magical juju and affect that when I squirt into his mouth? It actually might unweirdify him and we get some straight answers out of him.
You want to cure him of fairy germs?
That's what I'm asking the magical guy. Can we do that?
Okay, we're back to this.
Is it worth it? Is it worth trying it now? Or is that too much of a long
I
shot?
think that I would have a much better shot if I had any idea at all what we were dealing with. I can try. If you really want me to, Mike, I can try. But unless I know what I'm trying to expel, I think it's just as likely I'll hurt him.
Not worth it.
Yeah. I'm pretty good bet it's fairies, but I don't know for sure.
I think I should go try to have that conversation.
Not
I think
alone.
we should all go.
It's hard to describe, but I didn't feel hostility from it. I felt curiosity, like it was taking my measure. I think what's different about me might be enough to keep me safe.
I don't love that plan.
I don't know where else we're going to get information about that. And I don't know. I have a bad feeling that everybody in town's got the same problem. If I go back on my word, who knows? Everybody we meet from now on in this place might try to kill us.
Well, I certainly don't think that last back at the burger place would have much luck with it, at least.
No, but the more people try to hurt us, Rory, the more we hurt them. And I don't think these people asked for this. Something weird is going on here, and I'd mean to find out what.
Now, did anyone get any really weird vibes off the owner of the diner?
Yes.
Yeah, she's super
That's why
weird
we
and
told
said a
you
lot
not
of weird things.
That's why
No.
we told you not to eat the burger.
I'm saying weirdness to the point where you thought she might be controlled by somebody else, not just
Yeah. She looked at me and said the super creepy line about the
That's
trees
right.
having eyes.
the kids.
The only people that we haven't gotten weird vibes from is her sister and her boyfriend.
Yeah, the younger haven't been affected yet, but it seems like the people most affected are the ones out in the woods, the lumberjacks, the owner of the lumber mill.
Well, it stands to reason that makes sense. That's why they want me to come meet them in the trees. It's got to be where they're coming from, where they're leaking into this world.
Serves to reason.
Is there what?
Oh, I said serves to reason.
We are supposed to talk to those kids soon, too.
How about you folks do that? Let me make contact with my people.
I don't
and
like
see what
it.
I can find out, and we can meet back here soon.
Are you sure you should go alone?
I don't want to risk them hurting you if something goes wrong. The one advantage I've got, Rose, I'm durable and I heal quickly.
Now, the one thing that could have made me think that you were just full of shite right now, Tom, is you saying that you just didn't want nobody to get hurt. Because this ain't somebody who punches you in the mouth. This is somebody who takes over you.
Yeah.
And if somebody
Oh my
takes
God.
over you, we're in real shite.
I don't know that there's any room in me for anybody else.
Fair enough.
I
Why
think that
don't you-
sounds
I might have
silly.
said the
You don't-
same, though.
Why don't you put some
I
sort of
just feel like
protection on them? Rory?
one person should go with you in case.
I think if anyone is least likely to be affected, it's probably Rory.
Yeah.
He's not really human.
Okay,
I
but
could make myself
no.
have much smaller lungs.
Same argument, though. If Thomas and Rory both get turned to the dark side, what are we going to do against them?
Edith can still control him. If there are 2 forces trying to control him, he should be able to control himself.
It's true, and she can still use Rory against me if the worst happens.
I don't like this.
Wouldn't be clean, but Rory, unless this thing was able to do to me what the Revenant did, what you're capable of should be enough to keep me in check if something bad happens.
I hope so.
I just want to say, we're assuming that a creature that took over an entire town for 30 years is not as powerful as a Revenant.
It doesn't seem to be able to take over the entire town at once. It seems to have to focus on one individual at a time, or maybe a handful.
Its consciousness is divided. Don't ask me to tell you why, because I don't think I even have an operative theory yet, but I think a lot like me, it's only partially here.
I think it takes some time to affect people, so we need to work quickly.
We do have the crystal, so if they come back with super scary orange veins, we can at least back off.
Let's grab all the crystals. I want to look through all the crystals.
I was going to say, did only one of them actually
I was going to say Rose would have checked, but I'm happy to re-roll on it if you want.
So there are 3 that Rory is able to identify as functioning magical crystals, the others mostly being cute knockoffs.
And are the 3 functional? Do they all work like the little glass? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's give 1 to Rory and 1 each to Rose and Edith. That sounds reasonable.
I think it depends on how we're splitting up, because we are splitting up, it sounds like.
Rory and Thomas go into the woods, and Edith, Rose, and Michael go meet with the kids.
I super hate that plan, but I feel like it might be the best one we have.
Rose, the thing talked about meeting me home. I don't want to accidentally take one of you someplace you can't even exist or function or survive. I think this is the only choice we've got, and we've got to talk to this thing.
We've been there before. I'm going with Rory and Thomas.
What?
I'm going with Rory and Thomas. We don't know if Rory can do everything he might need to do if I'm not there.
Now I definitely super hate the plan.
That's fine. Mike took care of the one guy just fine. You're meeting the 2 kids. We don't think that they're a problem. We should all meet.
I'm not worried about Mike being able to take out every person in this town. I'm worried about the 3 of you going somewhere and not coming back.
Well, this is kind of the job, Rose. This is why I didn't want you involved.
Don't even eat it. This is a different thing.
It's Rose, not a different thing.
I'm going to pull Rory aside while Edith and Rose are arguing.
What?
Hey, Rory, if things go bad, just burn down the forest. That's probably the best way to protect everybody.
Now, I don't know if you figured this one out yet, but to have enough juice to burn down the forest, I kind of need her say so.
You're creative, though. If she releases the
I mean, I could do it with gasoline and any regular bit of magic.
If there's no other option, just burn down the forest and at least buy us some time.
Fine. All right. Then everything else that was going on.
I've heard that also. It's a rainforest.
Give me a minute. Edith, Rose, can we try something? And if it doesn't go the way we want it to go, we can learn the lesson. But for right now, let's trust that we can get this done. Let's just have faith and say good luck.
The diary said something about a circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
She knew not to go in it.
Well, that's what I intend to go in.
I'd maybe just go next to it. I think they can. I wouldn't go into it unless you absolutely have to. Rory, you know more about this than probably any of us. Is that sound advice?
Well, I mean, if you don't know a fae, you shouldn't go into its circle. She was talking about seeing fairies in that book up there. I'm assuming that's what she was talking about. I don't know if it's related, but I mean, these are old woods. They'd have fae in them. As far as this, I don't know.
We'll split up. You guys go talk to the kids. We'll meet you back at the mill to find the well, we might find the circle.
It always worked great for Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Rose will just hug Edith super tight. She's like, if you die, I swear I will be right after you because you're not going into the weird, dark afterlife without me. So don't do anything stupid because I can't handle you not being around.
I'm just going to look you in the face and say, honey.
Threats are not my thing. Just hug me and tell me you're going to come back.
I'm not going to tell you that. You need to be okay with this. And I'm just going to walk away.
You know, you two could get baptized at your sins, then you wouldn't be so worried about dying.
Oh, we're still on the
I could, but I feel like it wouldn't work since I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Same.
Can I get a minute? Can I get a minute to pull Rose aside?
Being hunted by demons, maybe you should believe in God. I don't know.
No, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Hear it. So,
Bible didn't say nothing about long nights.
Rose, can you? I need to talk to you really quick. Just you.
Okay.
If what we've been through here recently is any indication, if something starts happening to me, you'll probably feel it or get some sort of sensation of wrongness. If that happens, try to give the others a heads up. I don't know if we'll get reception where the veil is thin, but if something feels wrong, please let them know. Don't let me surprise them.
You know I would.
I know. This is going to go fine.
Yeah.
Good luck. Stay safe.
You too. And she'll hug him too.
Hug her back briefly, but very tight.
Just don't do anything stupid. Please.
I mean, I don't know. That's kind of my brand, but maybe I can evolve a little bit just this once.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Let's do it.
All right, and just to be clear, teams are Rory, Edith, Thomas, and Michael Rose.
Mhm.
All right, sounds good. We will go ahead and start with Michael and Rose, just because things might spin a little bit out of control with the others fast. Okay. You leave the home. I'm guessing. Are they still zip tied and everything?
Yeah, I'll drop a needle D just to be on the safe side.
Okay, sounds good. And head to the park.
Yep.
Okay.
Rose will let them know we're on the way, by the way.
All right, sounds good. You just get like a K in response to that. And it's not a huge town. For those of you who have been in Colorado Springs much, it's about the size of Cottonwood Park, with benches and stuff spread out all over it. And sitting on top of one of them, you come across the two young people that you were expecting to meet. Jesse, who you had met before, and Chandra, who you'd seen pictures of. Both have kind of I think we have a lot of noise
I
coming
was
in.
going to say, there's something super noisy.
I promise I'm not doing it. Oop. I think it may have actually been from you. I'm not sure. At least I don't hear it. At least it went away when you muted, but I'm not hearing it now again. Anyway.
Do you hear it now?
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's all right. Cool. Anyway. Yeah, you see Chandra and Jesse sitting on top of one of the tables, kind of legs crossed, looking at each other. She is um, like looking around and scanning when she notices you, and it gets a big roll of her eyes. Just
Hi.
walk up, just walk up like normal.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who else is in the park?
We gotta do something about that. I don't know what's causing that noise, but we gotta do something about that. It's louder than you are.
I was gonna say maybe try swapping mics. Using your computer mic. Who all is in the park?
How's that?
Much
there we
better.
go.
Much better. Thank you. That'll work fine for now. Okay. As you approach, Jesse is like, yeah, it's them. Or at least two of them, I guess. And Chandra steps down and walks up to the both of you and says, okay, I've listened to literally everyone who had questions about my sister, and they weren't able to do a damn thing. Why am I supposed to believe that you can do something else?
Because we're kind of known for dealing with the weird ones. So.
You calling me weird?
No, I'm calling the situation where your sister mysteriously vanished in a town full of people who don't know where she is weird.
What's so weird? Kids run away.
Do you think she ran away?
No.
Well, then that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
it's
happened?
I don't know. I don't think anything happened. I think things have always been this weird.
Come on.
What?
We're not going to get you in trouble. That's not what we're here to do. We just want to help.
I am not even screwing with you right now. When I say that everything has always been weird, I'm not talking like the world. I'm talking like around here. You don't know until you watch enough TV to realize that things aren't like this. You know? People are weird. It's like you're walking around and talking to someone, and then sometimes they'll just stop talking for like 5 minutes or something, and you just think, okay, that's just something people do, and that's not what people do, and you don't get that until you're old enough to realize it.
Right, like when you went to Seattle.
Yeah, like when I went to Seattle. Oh my god, what? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
It's just kind of a well-known story around here because people don't really leave, do they?
Oh my god, everyone's the worst. Yeah, sure. I guess that was front page news.
I want to help your sister really bad. And I don't want to cause any drama. But some people mentioned that you guys had fought. What were you guys fighting about?
Look, Amanda. Amanda was into weirder things than everybody else. Okay? She had her whole witch thing going for her, and that's great. Whatever. But she started talking like wacko. Like she was saying that mom and dad weren't mom and dad all the time. Or that it was in us and we had to get out. And I was worried that if she kept talking like that, that they would send her off to an insane asylum.
Okay.
And yeah, we would fight sometimes. She's my sister.
Right. It's normal.
And the night that she ran off, she said she was going to do something about it.
Do something about the town?
Yeah. I don't know what. She seemed pretty confident, though. And now she's gone.
We're going to do everything we can to find her, okay? You don't have to worry about that. What a great question, Mike.
Is my mic still acting funny?
Yeah, but it's not
It's
as
less bad. It's less bad. It's like 45% less bad.
She'd be like, your sister, it sounds like she was going through a lot. But we kind of have a guess on where she might be. But the thing I really have to know is if there was anything impossible that you saw. Did you see anything that you just can't justify how it happened?
I don't even know how to frame that. If I see something, it's possible.
Right, but with Amanda, you never saw anything that was just a little too weird? No weird lights, or it gets cold when it's in the middle of summer? Anything? And I know that's a crazy question, but it helps every bit.
She tried to get me to look. She tried to get me to check to see what she was looking at. She said it'd help.
Through one of these, and she'll show the crystal.
Is that one of hers?
We've been trying to find her.
Bring you my home?
Listen, it's going to sound like a crazy question, but did you ever look through a crystal and see anything?
She tried. I told her that it was stupid. And I didn't believe her. And I never did.
Do you want to try now?
She just takes it out of your hand.
She's like, you can look at me.
Crazy high rolls continue. She picks it up and puts it like through the light where she can see in the dark surrounding you, and sees something that makes her eyes go wide a little bit. And she makes a strange look, and Jesse calls out, "Baby, what you see? What's going on in there?" It's like distorted or something.
May I?
It's like you've got fireflies.
Yeah. And she'll put her hand back out as if she's asking for the crystal again.
She'll hesitantly put it back in your hand.
And she'll quickly glance at her through the crystal just to make sure that nothing
Jesus.
terrifying is happening.
She's got a lot more than you and a lot less than her parents.
Okay. She's like, it seems like the weird stuff is a little bit weirder here. And we're trying to help.
Okay.
I'm Rose, by the way. And this is Mike.
I'm Chandra. You can call me Sean. And That's Jesse, but you met him.
Yeah.
Do you know if there was a crystal your sister wore all the time, especially recently?
Her favorite one, she said it was her favorite, was a big one that she wore around her neck. She would hold up all the time like a magnifying glass.
We didn't find one like that in her room, I'm assuming.
You did not.
When she said she was going to make everything right, did she give you any hints?
If I knew at this point, I'd tell you.
I believe that. When she wanted you to leave, did she ever say where?
She said far away from the woods.
Well, we'll start looking for her there, okay? Some of our friends are already looking. And they've got a knack for finding lost things, okay? And lost people even more so.
What can I do?
And she'll kind of look to Mike for a what can they do?
Why don't you just go home, check on your parents, make sure they're doing okay.
Check on my parents when you're trying to find my sister.
It's probably putting a lot of stress on them. They're missing their daughter. I've worked missing persons cases before. The parents are usually pretty freaked out.
Rose looks to Mike with a very, are you sure about that one?
She keeps looking back and forth at Jesse and then's like, okay, I'll go home. And then starts to walk away.
As she does, she'll kind of call out and she's like, Chandra, if you see or hear anything, Jesse has my number. Let us know. We'll be here in a minute, okay?
Okay, fine, whatever.
Just please be safe. Anything weird, and you call us.
You got it.
Okay.
And she just smacks Jesse on the shoulder and walks off towards her dirt bike.
Rose will kind of look to Mike and just say, what now?
Let's plug in their locations on the Find My Phone and go link up with the rest of them.
Okay. And she'll get right to work on that.
Okay. And it does become immediately obvious that it is hard to get a good signal.
No.
And we will move to the others. Okay, perfect. Welcome back.
Okay.
Okay. Crystals in hand. Y'all head out into the woods. Just walking out there? Any particular direction?
In like further away from civilization and further into wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
That should be perceptible.
Thomas can... Oh, go ahead.
No. Go on.
I would like to actually use the crystal like just to see if there's a trail of these things. If it's
That's smart.
spores, it's got to be
That's smart.
boring, maybe.
That's smart.
That's very good. You put it up to your head, take a look around, and looking out on the broader environment for the first time in a while, or for the first time through the crystal, you are able to see little orange flecks passing through the air around you, mostly very isolated. When you stare out into the forest, the concentration does get higher. And most of it off in the direction nearby the lumber mill.
As expected. So I guess we go that way.
Lead the way.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you're kind of in charge of at least one of us, so makes sense.
It's fine. And I go. I'm assuming it's not giving me like a trail. That would be too much to ask, but I am trying to walk towards where
You're walking towards concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we make our way towards it, I would just want to keep aware, see if anything pinged or made my arm hair raise up.
Okay, got it. Yeah, going through, you, with the additional awareness that you have gained of what and how these things are, you kind of have their scent now, and the air just feels thicker than normal.
Yeah.
Thicker and wetter somehow. And only growing more so as you travel onward.
We're moving in the right direction.
There's not going to be a way for you to deal with them without going into that circle, is there?
Well, we're going to try, but if you're asking me what I think is going to end up happening, no, I don't think so.
Do either of you know if there's a way to tether him here? Like a way that we could pull him back out?
I mean,
I don't know.
Try. What do you think, Rory? Like an anchor spell, just as strong as we can make it?
I mean, sure. I can do my best.
I think that's the best it's going to get.
A bit of recall, maybe.
I mean, honestly, I was thinking a rope, but sure.
Oh, sure. That's fine, too.
We can do both. Just want to have a plan for if whatever over there is, they don't have concepts like rope.
Well, it depends on how over there we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
I mean, maybe rope plus spell. How's that?
Let's do both. Sounds good to me.
Oh, I think I heard about something in a game people played once. Made you make the rope dance.
Can
Jump
we make
rope?
the rope dance too? Can we?
Oh, I heard about it. The jumping rope was magic.
It is?
I don't know. You hear stories every now and then.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't think it would keep him here, though.
Probably not. Sometimes I still try to use humor to diffuse a very tense situation. Because I'm pretty sure that this ain't nothing that Thomas is going to be able to punch his way out of.
Probably not.
And as you guys continue deeper into the forest, you see a crowd of about 5 or 6 people waiting for you.
Like watching us come up, actually waiting for us? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I told you I would come.
Most of them are just lumberjacks sitting there with various tools of their trade. And stepping out from behind them is Callum again.
Hi. Is it
And
you or are you one of them?
one of them.
told
Well, I
you
mean,
would
we're
come.
all one of them, but yes, I'm me. I'm sorry. That actually doesn't help very much in your position.
You seem
Well,
like you
come-
have a
Well,
good
come
deal
along,
going.
man, if you'd like to talk more.
I said I would.
Sure.
What did you do with Amanda?
Oh, that poor girl. Quite honestly, I was planning to do a great deal to her. She was a loose end that I wasn't quite accounting for. The girl caught on. I didn't like that. But I wasn't planning on hurting her. I was just planning on bringing her in the loop, you know? Because when you're in the loop, when you're part of the conspiracy is no longer a threat.
The loop. What have you people called over?
Called over. There's no calling over here, Thomas. Would you like to see?
Yes, I would.
Well, come along then. I mean, there's several ways through the woods themselves, but the fastest way is at the lumber yard.
Okay. And
Are you still looking through the crystal?
Yes.
There's nothing of Callum but the glow.
yeah.
Makes sense. And the
You
people
see-
around him? I'm assuming they are more like the people, the parents, like
More like the
a
parents.
little more automatonish.
Yeah, exactly.
These people are becoming subsumed. They're becoming integrated.
Oh, you're talking about it like it's some sort of, I don't know, disease. It's a family. It's a network.
It's a cult. You killed a little girl.
I did not kill a little girl. As I said, I planned on bringing her into the loop.
You also said you planned on not harming her. Past tense.
She had found out too much. And then, precisely as I had set up a little spring for her to fall into, vanished. Thin air.
Over
I don't
there.
actually know where she went.
Okay.
What are you trying to do here, Callum? What are you unleashing?
He opens the door to the lumber yard as he's led you far enough to get up to his office again, opening it up with the keys. I'm not unleashing anything. I'm me, and I'm spreading. It's just easier to talk here where most of me is.
Yeah, I got that sense. This is home, huh?
Well, it's above home.
What's down there?
Home.
Yeah.
And he enters into his office and pushes aside a bookcase where he opens another door. And he says, "After you."
I'm going.
Yeah. Not really a choice.
Oh, this is a great idea.
Do you have any better ideas?
Nope, not a one.
Rory,
Okay,
if this goes sour, blast your way out. Hook
Thomas,
up with Rose and Michael however you can. I'll
This
try
is
to
what-
hold whatever this thing is here.
this is already sour. We're all getting out.
Oh, we'll all get out all right. Let's all go find out what we're killing.
Okay. You guys go in, and there is a short tunnel leaning down, reinforced with wooden beams and such, that supports the walls on all sides. Did you forget something?
I did. I should have texted those, but I didn't.
Well, that might
No.
have been a good idea at some
We
point.
are now down below. I'm assuming where there's no cell service.
Yes, underground it is quite difficult to get a reception.
Okay, well, I am going to proceed to continue to check my phone in case there is, by some magical coincidence, an underground line of cell service.
And as he walks in after, he says, "You know, I really wasn't lying. The new innovations that were introduced did usher in a whole new era. In fact, they were able to cut down more trees than ever before, and in pulling some of them up, some of those roots that managed to be brought to the light of day for the first time were able to say hello. And enriched within them was me." And opening one more door at the end of a tunnel, you open up to a cavern of just blinding light. As your eyes slowly adjust to it, you see that it is a shockingly bioluminescent object that covers the walls and weaves through everything. The little points of it that are easier to look at because they're close to you seem to have the texture of moss or something similar, like a fungus. This is me, most of me. I'm also outside. And
How long
as
were
I
you-
got to know people up above, I just decided to do my best to coexist in the best way I knew how.
By taking them over?
Taking them over. I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I know you've seen the worst of it, but I really don't do that much. Most of what I do ultimately is just facilitating efficiency and synergy and good, clean, hard work. Do you have any idea how many accidents happen at a lumber mill? I
But you
mean,
don't-
Jesus.
You
I
don't-
am able to help people communicate in ways that they never have before.
How long
Production
were
is
you
through the
here?
roof.
How long were you here before they found you?
Countless lonely aeons. I
You
really
know-
can't describe the sensation of coming to be aware of oneself in a cavern forever. I only have the words to do so now that I know all of you.
So you took all of their creativity and their language and their abilities and you just subsumed them.
The only one I subsumed was Callum. All right? He's the only one who doesn't have anything left. And
But
that's
they're-
because he's me.
Their will, Callum, for lack of another thing to call you.
Let's lay this out on the table. Let me run a hypothetical by you. You might call a system in which you give a small part of yourself away to another entity, where you have to surrender that to something bigger than yourself that makes use of it and infiltrates a large portion of your life and then leaves you alone with most of your time a bit more tired and weary, but mostly yourself. You might call that monstrous. Me? I'd prefer to call it modern industry. How is it any different than what they're doing at the Amazon factory? Really?
The Amazon factory is atrocious. Nobody likes the Amazon factory.
They're also
Right, and conditions here are far superior.
at that factory, Callum. Negative news comes out all the time. People are angry for their relatives. People protest. They don't disappear. They don't get thrown into nothingness by the people they loved and trusted.
Well, we're only nothing sometimes.
Thomas, why are we reasoning with it?
Just because I'm not necessarily certain that I want to fight it here.
Oh, come on now, Thomas. Listen, there's really no fighting me. I'm in all of the wood around here, and every time I'm cut, just a little bit more of me gets outside of this town and out in the world. You know, eventually, we'll have a whole dang monopoly to work with.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people whose will you can just override anytime you want. How many other people do you plan on making disappear when others have a problem with that? You have to see this isn't sustainable.
Thomas, he doesn't care.
I don't see why not. Because the more people have a problem, that just means that I'm spreading far enough to have more allies. And I don't really know that you're in a good position to do something about it.
Well, unfortunately for you, you brought us to you, and now I can hurt you. But I'm trying to talk. I don't think you're malicious. I don't think you're evil. I think you're confused. I think you're new. You're new to this world from wherever you came from. They dug you up from the ground. You don't have to exist here with a blood price from humans. It doesn't have to work that way.
The humans were suffering before I got here. Do you have any idea what this place was like before I arrived? It was destitute. People were living off scraps. You know, Patty's Diner, the one with the lovely hamburgers. That place was a shambles. They had cardboard up in some of the windows because the rainstorms. Look,
You're
this
trying to
place
help.
was dying, and now it is thriving.
You're trying to help. I understand. I've tried to do that in my own way so many times. But you can't help people by hurting them.
If I go, these people have nothing. There's nothing keeping this town afloat except for me.
Why don't you just go back to your trees?
There's them.
Go back to your trees.
Trees aren't compelling conversationalists.
Modern science would beg to differ.
Listen, I don't normally let people in. And I think that you understand that there's probably only two ways this goes. Either we're able to come to a fair and equitable deal, or this doesn't end well.
You don't want to fight me, Callum.
What are you going to do exactly, Pink Man?
It's not the pink in me you should be afraid of. I wanted to talk to you because I got the feeling there was something in us that was kin. But I promise you, if I want to hurt you, I can. Don't do this. It doesn't have to go this way.
There's something different about two of you.
No kidding.
Rory is looking over at Edith like wondering and making a sound with his mouth.
Yeah, I think we're about there. I think we're about there.
Yep.
You can.
And he looks at Thomas and goes, well, what's your counter offer?
Let these people go and go live. If Callum is gone, that's not something we can erase. Put the rest of you in him, just like they put a piece of whatever I am in me. And go live. Go make conversation as a being out in the world, as an innocent creature who's not doing any harm. But this, I can't let you disappear, people. I can't let you enslave them.
I don't even fit in Callum. Sounds like it might be you or me then.
I've gotten by off of being just a shard of myself. I'm very happy. I don't even remember what I am, but you know what? I have friends. I have people who care about me. I have no shortage of engaging conversation. I even help people from time to time, and not by subsuming my judgment for theirs, by meeting them where they're at, by hearing their problems and their challenges, and by trying to take care of them, trying to protect them from what would hurt them. It's more rewarding, trust me.
And where would you suggest I go? Huh?
Anywhere you want.
I don't have anywhere I want. I need vessels. I need something to collect around. And this cavern is nothing.
You mean you can't leave? You can't leave this area?
I can coexist with a person. I can coexist with an animal. I can coexist with a living thing like a tree. Elsewhere, I just die in the air.
Oh, that's complicated.
Why not just go back where you came from?
I came from here. This was home.
Someone must have brought you over? You're not from here?
I recall bright lights and whispered words.
You were
And before that, nothing.
You were summoned, Callum. You were summoned from a place where you would be both greater and more than you are here. This world has rules, it has limitations. You were called over against your will. You had to be. You're not a naturally occurring organism in this plane.
What if we
What are you saying? What are things even like?
could put you back? A place where you could basically be a god and create your own whatever.
You said you sent the girl away, that she vanished in thin air. Well, I'm willing to bet you opened a hole to what I'm talking about. I hope to God she's still alive wherever she is, and we're going to find out. But where you come from, similarly on the other side, but it's not here. And eventually, all the trees will be cut, and all the people will be used up. What future is there in that? If you're that limited, if you're that bound up by these rules in this form.
All right. I am going to let this come down to one charm roll to see how this goes. Either one of you can take it.
That's the one thing I'm good at.
Is it both of us rolling, or?
I'm going to say you can either we can either do just one person, and I will modify it appropriately on that closing argument based on the strength of everything that we've heard. Or both of you can roll it, and we'll go with the higher one, but I won't necessarily apply a modifier.
You won't necessarily what?
Apply a modifier to it.
Dylan, I have a +3.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Closing argument.
Closing argument?
Yeah.
Before I roll?
What's your pitch on him?
The closing argument is that you seem to be an eternal magical being. If you were here for hundreds of years, you're going to outlive humanity by hundreds of years. This could be a nice sand castle for you, but it's limited. It's not going to be here in thousands of years, and you still will be. You'll be stuck on this rock alone. Maybe without even any trees. Just stones. Or whatever organism comes next. I don't think it's going to be bigger than us. I think it's going to be smaller. Or we could send you somewhere. We could send you somewhere where he came from. We could send you somewhere from where the essence of you came from. You could find others that are like you. You wouldn't be alone. as far as I can tell, you can kind of make anything happen over there if you can figure out the levers, and you're eternal. Why not figure out the levers? More complicated levers than these people.
Make your roll.
I rolled 2 1s, so that brings our total to 5.
I would, unless you want to fight, I would spend a point there and redo that.
I haven't got one.
You should have at least one at the beginning of each session. Did you use it?
At the beginning of each session?
Yeah.
I get a luck point at the beginning of each session?
Yeah. Did you use it?
No.
Then you should have one.
Okay,
You have one.
I'll use it. What do I use it for?
You can re-roll at a 5. I wouldn't take the bonus. I would re-roll.
Re-roll with, and do I get to use my modifier or just roll?
You just redo what you just did.
Oh God, you guys. 11. That's better.
Much.
It's higher than the 10 you needed. And what of my friends?
The people?
I've gotten to know them not only as myself, but as each other. And whatever they're going to do with themselves, their home will be falling apart within months.
They'll have to make it work.
Sometimes fate is cruel, but at least it's our own.
And I mean, sometimes these doors are 2 ways, but they have to make it work. You've given them a leg up, an incredible leg up. All of this isn't going to disappear overnight, but now they'll have the opportunity to diversify. No city can survive on one industry. That's a recipe for the city to die in a generation.
And if it doesn't work, Callum, they can leave. There's a big wide world out there with tons of fortunes and jobs and people to meet, things to see. Right now, this is all they've got. And this is finite, especially with you at the helm. This forest won't be here much longer the rate you're going, and you know it won't.
I could try and make it grow. But you're right.
It will grow. It's one of the greatest parts about this plane, is it persists. And so do people. They're kind of beautiful that way. And we're beautiful in our own way. We're different. But you got to let them be what they are. Brilliant, unique, and finite.
Will it take long to try and send me back?
I don't know. How much of you do you have to pull back?
I'm not even sure I can get all of it. You might be finding little bits of me for a long time. But I think I can make it so that there's not too many orphans.
We'll try.
Anything enough to be called a consciousness is here.
I have the ability to analyze you, I guess, to make contact with and understand what you are. I would hope that would give me some insight on where you come from. And after that, well, it's just on me and Rory to try to figure out a way to open the door for you. But in exchange for doing that, I would ask you a favor.
Go on.
Will you help us try to get the girl back? We don't know that she's dead. We just know that she's somewhere else.
At that moment, I'm gonna ask that we get Rose and Michael back in.
Yes. Somehow.
You two can stay.
Hello.
Okay, so as you were trying to get a bead on them, what is you guys' game plan to try and approach?
I had decided to come in fully kitted up with
He
everything.
Okay.
Before you guys started talking, I had made the plan to come fully kitted with the breaching shotgun, with the cold iron rounds, and
Awesome.
ready for everything.
Okay. Did you... Now, I'm not going to call BS if you said that you were heading in the direction of the lumberyard, because it seems like it was a pretty decent decision. But was that what you two were thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd probably follow the crystal like Edith did.
Okay. So, as Rose has the crystal, I'm assuming it's not in
Yes.
Michael's hands. He's got too many shotguns. And you are looking about through that. You see something you maybe weren't expecting. You see a green woman step out from behind a tree.
Should I pop Dylan and I out, or should I keep
Nope,
us?
nope. We'll be back to you in just a moment. This is fine for everyone to be here.
Mike?
Mike does not see her, though.
Right. Rose will wave at her. She'll be like, so there's a very beautiful green woman in front of us.
Ask her if she's seen our friends.
Hi, I'm Rose. Have you perchance seen our friends?
She is going to walk her way up to the both of you. She's like kind of, as you imagine, some women in these tales. She has no clothes on, but hair running across the length of her and such. And as she gets closer, she has just big, bright eyes, emerald colored. And you feel a soft warmth against your cheek as she reaches out to try and touch you if you do not resist.
Rose wouldn't. She's fascinated.
Okay.
Michael can't see her.
And you can see her in that little bit, but like on all
Yeah.
other sides of it, you're not really getting a good glimpse. And she says, "Your friends have spoken to our lost brother. I think that he'll be able to go back. He'd forgotten how to speak with us, and we were worried at the chance that might never come again to save one that he might have done harm to. So we hid her. I can show you where."
Yes, please. We would really like that.
Like what?
I think she knows where Amanda is.
And just even several hundred paces away from the logging mill, she walks off and she touches the trunk of a tree, and it begins to spin around. And before you both, you are able to see a woman matching the description of Amanda, cradled within a pair of arms of the tree, as if she were a sleeping child. And she's like nestled in them in a bed of flowers.
Michael slings his rifle across his back and reaches in, grabs the girl.
Thank you so much. What can we do to thank you for this?
Let us live. Let the people move on. Let them tear down some other forest.
See what we can do.
And she nods and begins to walk back out into the forest green.
She like looks to Mike and she's like, "That was so incredibly magical. I think we need to find them quickly." And she'll immediately text Edith in all caps, like, "Don't kill anyone."
Don't kill anyone.
Is Amanda breathing? Oh, did she wake up?
Yeah,
at all?
she's breathing. She seems to be in a very heavy sleep. You even hear like little snores.
I'm so happy.
And back inside, he says, I can draw the rest of me in the town back. At some point, there may be enough of me gathered together elsewhere in this world. Some bit that didn't get to go home that gets to talk to you. If so, maybe I'll owe you a favor.
Thank you.
Understood.
If this works, of course.
Yeah. The first step is you and I have to commune. Would maybe be the word. I'm not sure.
Don't tell me we have to hold hands.
I found that if we shake them, it's a lot less awkward.
He reaches forward a good, strong businessman handshake.
All right. And now I will roll to have the part of me which is not of earth touch the part of him which is not.
All righty, give it to me.
10.
Okay. You feel that you are suddenly holding something white hot. You are holding what looks to you like what is here just a growing mossy plant spore to being a single burning rose on the other side, the size of an entire universe, with all of its own ecosystems and civilizations contained within. An impossibly complex thing. And you know that this thing that had become Callum was suffering from being just a tiny piece of a very large thing that did not know how to find its way back to its true home.
Okay. And I did not roll over a 10, so it would get a good look at me about like I got a good look at it. And it would just see the sliver of something else impossibly large and powerful and shorn off as if torn off from a piece of paper. And that's all I can tell you without spoilers, but I know you can do something with that. So, oh my goodness.
Are you trying to get back home?
I don't know. But you are. You're suffering here, being apart from what you are. If you trust me, I can tell you definitively that when you go home, all that pain and that fear and that lack of knowing that you've suffered over here, it'll go away.
I just want to have someone I can talk to who
You can do that.
understands.
I understand, but I can never understand as well as the rest of you does. Let us try. Let's try to reunite you with what you are.
Do you need a hand, Tom?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna. Our friend here, he's a piece of an incomprehensibly larger whole, but that should help you find resonance. I would imagine the principle is the same as with tracking magic or summoning magic, or I can't imagine it's going to be too hard not to get a ping on.
Well, it's like,
the rest.
putting the corner piece on a puzzle. It's fine.
And yeah, if you need more juice, I can provide that.
This might sound dumb, but should we find a circle?
Couldn't hurt. Rory,
Sure, if you can find one.
I think we.
Wasn't there one that she talked about right near here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was in her journal.
Callum, do you know where the circle is?
I think that she'd spoken of things that, yes, I think I might.
At worst, it'll give us more juice to do this. At best, it might be where you came through in the first place.
He nods. And for the sake of brevity, I can explain that as he'd walk with you and gather up some of that light onto himself and surrounding himself with it, the other lumberjacks who were around would come and gather a bit up as well. And you two outside of the lumber mill would see that most of the population of the town is gathering up outside of the building, and you begin to see them merge holding what looks like balls of light.
All right.
Hey, check your phone. I suspect you'll have messages waiting.
Don't tell anyone.
Edith, where are you? We just
It's like at least 100 messages sent in the last 20 minutes.
I just like scroll. Oh, don't kill anything. Oh, text back. We already way ahead of you. Nothing's dead yet.
Cool, we found Amanda. Where are you guys?
Heading towards the circle. Ask Amanda where the circle is.
She puts like ... She's unconscious.
Wake her up.
I'm gonna try to rouse
She
her.
looks to Mike like, Edith says to try waking her up.
okay. Yeah. You
Poor little baby.
She's been through so much.
You give her a nudge and everything, and she seems really sleepy. She's kind of like
Give her a good sternal
halfway
rub.
able to open her eyes. What'd you say?
Give her a sternal rub.
Okay.
Take knuckles, run across her sternum.
Yeah.
See if it wakes her up.
She seems like she is waking up, like she was on something. She is doing so very slowly, but her eyes do barely crack open.
Hey, Amanda, need you to wake up. You've been missing a while.
There's the lights. Why are the lights out here?
Long story short, you were right about a lot of things. People being hive-minded, but don't tell anybody about that because they'll think you're crazy, even though you were right. We need you to find the circle. Our friends are headed there, and we're going to end this whole thing.
It's the spot where the fairies play. It's just a little bit north of here.
All right.
Think you can walk?
No. And she's gonna lay her head up against Mike's shoulder.
No.
Little lady. Start heading north.
Okay. And Edith and Thomas and Rory step out as well, I'm assuming,
Yep.
with the
Reunite.
procession.
I am very weirded out by this. I'm like super uncomfortable. But I'm trying really, really hard to just keep it cool because we have it doing what we want.
Yeah, I mean, it's this or war.
I'm fine with it. Mostly, as long as it works.
We'll make it work, I promise.
And as things go on, you are kind of able to follow along to the north, and the people seem to instinctually be going in that direction as well, a little bit on autopilot. You see Mr. Owens there as well, now appropriately bandaged up.
That's good.
And there is a small clearing with just regular looking stones and particularly green grass in the center.
I guess this is it.
Callum, this is the circle. This is where we'll be able to send you home.
All right. Well, if you can do so, great.
All right.
One question. When we send you home, is Callum gonna die?
Technically, all of his organs and everything still function. But in his quest for something greater, he found me, and I've been all of him for a long time. I don't know what that will be like for him.
Well, at least it sounds like he made a choice.
And he has a chance.
Hey, Rose,
Yeah.
you said you saw a forest creature earlier looking through your crystal. Are there any around here now?
She will look around to see if she can see any of them.
See if they can give us any advice. Or...
Looking through there, you not only see that everything is almost like blinding again, because like not only the orbs of light, but all of the people are glowing through your crystal as well. But in amongst that like sunrise, you also see little specks of green floating through it and buzzing around. Like something that looks like a doe, like walking on and looking in, and the beings that inhabit the forest seem to have taken an interest.
Just like, they might be here, but I don't think they're here for talking. It's mostly just lights and the creatures.
Wouldn't hurt to ask them if they can give us any, at least guidance. They may not help us, but at least tell us what not to do.
Okay. And she'll kind of just, in general, openly ask,
Roll a weird.
"Hi, if you'd like to help again."
Just want to point out, Rose gets a lot with honey, not with vinegar. Her
Yeah,
approach
Yeah.
most
is
people, they don't
citrus.
want to talk.
I would like to point out that Edith just helped negotiate not killing this thing and sending it back to a place where it could potentially be God.
I agree that Edith
No,
handled it.
Edith redeemed pepper spraying a zombie. Absolutely.
I got a 12.
All right. Yeah, great.
Oh, ones or 12s. That's it. That's all this whole game.
All or nothing.
You ask this about, and a little of the tiny fluttering green things float about your head, and you just have it settle on you that if he really wants to go, it's as simple as stepping through a door.
Okay. And she'll kind of convey that to Mike as they keep walking.
Are we together now? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
The group is able to join up.
What did
Tell
you say?
Rory.
Yeah, then
Rory's-
she will share everything that she can.
All right. It's like, well, good. Maybe I won't even have to risk burning the forest down then. That'd be great.
Yeah, I would really not do that. She was very clear about this forest.
Checking out the circle himself, Rory says, time ago.
Oh, no.
I don't know what just happened
No,
there.
what just happened?
Hello?
We're on the upside down now.
No, we came back. We
So
just
weird.
paused. I think we had a stutter in the internet.
Sorry, guys.
No stress.
Excuse me.
It was mostly just scary because we all like shifted positions super fast.
Yeah, I was like, speaking of doors, we have a visitor. Anyway.
Rory says,
Dylan, can you mush him?
Did do that. One second. Shh. Boom.
Rory says, these stones are from a really long time ago. And it was obviously set up as a portal to somewhere. I think I can turn the key. As he pulls out his book and attempts a couple of words. Great. As he mumbles something indistinct under his breath, the stones all turn a quarter clockwise. And the center of it descends into a sort of staircase. And the glowing lights seem to gently lift out of everybody's hands and begin making their way down it. Do you think I'll like me?
No.
Fair enough.
I think it goes deeper than that.
Well, sorry for whatever cleanup needs to be done around here, I suppose.
It's life.
Goodbye.
Can I ask you a favor real quick? No, just simple.
Go on.
If you run into the rest of me, wherever you're going, tell them not to come back here.
I'll do my best if I recognize you.
That's all I can ask. Good luck.
And Callum opens his mouth, as does all of the other townsfolk, with the exception of any younger people about here. And anybody looking through a crystal can see those smaller particles emerge as well, and likewise stream down that staircase.
Does the light within the group leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Just little flicker comes out your nose real quick that you see. And after a moment or two, Patty reaches up and puts a hand on Rose's shoulder. I'm sorry, dear. I think I just realized I was quite rude to you without realizing it.
It's totally okay.
And all of the other townsfolk are kind of looking around. And it's not like they're waking up from a coma. It's like it's like understanding that a dream you were having was real.
Sorry, guys.
They all just like mostly look about, confused and everything. Mr. Owens holds his chest. It's like, why? Oh,
You were being very aggressive.
no, I understand. Just the chest?
Mike doesn't.
He's the expert.
This feels like a you thing.
Fewer arteries there. If I shot you in the leg, got your femoral artery, you could have bled out.
That sounds like a good reason to me. I mean,
In better news, we found Amanda.
I'm still holding his daughter in my
Right,
arms.
who Mike is holding.
that's great.
And they seem to all like look about and start murmuring quickly. And then both Mr. and Mrs. Owens seem to have that realization dawn on them, and they rush up and immediately start holding on to and crying their daughter. I'm assuming you let them hold her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she rouses as well, looks up, and says, Mom, Dad? The lights went home. Take a nap now.
Apparently, you all sawed into some sort of hallucinogenic mushrooms in the forest, and she realized it. I was trying to explain it to you, but nobody really believed her. And the whole town seems to have been affected.
They are all looking about with just like this wild-eyed dreariness. And Patty just looks up and says, Dear, I don't think that's necessary. I remember most of what happened. You don't want other people to know.
Do you want other people to know?
No. They'd stick a lot of us in the loony bin at best.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why you accidentally uncovered some hallucinogenic mushrooms. The spores got in the air and affected everybody.
You should probably stop cutting trees down here, too. It's how the spores got in the air.
And
Um,
one guy that you hadn't seen before just pipes in and says, "What are we supposed to do? That's the whole industry of the town. Are we supposed to just pack up and move to the city?"
A lot of you might have to. Amanda might be able to tell you areas that are safe to cut. Ask her when she's feeling a little better, maybe tomorrow.
Or you can make this place whatever you want.
it sure is a beautiful place to visit.
Patty's Burgers could be legendary.
They are good.
Good.
Turn the sawmill into a water park. Slides. It's half built already.
It's whatever you want. Whatever you want. For your kids. For your grandkids. For whoever comes and goes.
The sheriff walks up and says, "Well, I don't know too much about making sense of what went on here, or what precisely was wrong with us, but we all got you to thank, and whatever goes on, I'm happy to help you if there's a way we can."
We don't need help. You guys just get to rebuild your town.
We're just going to file a report with the Wellport police that Amanda here got lost in the woods, affected by mushrooms, went comatose for a few days, and we were able to find her. You
A
guys
missing
did your
person recovered.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else y'all need?
Take care of your forest. And I think
Nothing.
it might take care of you. Rose?
I could go for another burger. Anybody else?
Actually, sure.
The internet is struggling over here.
Sorry, guys.
It's all good. Do you all intend to stay the night then?
Just get dinner and head out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Now, again, it is several hours drive back to Wellport, and it is now probably like midnight. Just
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so you all understand the nature of the situation. Not that I need you narratively to sleep. I don't have a gotcha, but
Surprise! He came right back through the freaking door.
it was actually those trolls I mentioned earlier.
I will text Lieutenant Dalton and know we recovered the girl. Just he'll get a report tomorrow or next day.
Sounds good. Well, in that case, you all are able to make your way to the Small Wonder Diner, where Patty is more than happy to cook up as many hamburgers as you would like, as well as some ice cream if you'd wish. Can even make a good old shake for you if you'd like. She
still
can
gonna
even
pay
make
for
she can even make the shake a little extra spicy if any of you would enjoy having like an adult shake.
Oh, yes. Yes, please. Yes, please.
That sounds amazing.
Just
Now,
you know,
what
Rose-
precisely is the optimal ratio of whiskey to shake? Like, how much whiskey can we put in it and still call it a shake? She does his best. And she does her best to make his essentially ice cream floating in a vat of whiskey.
I'll have one of those. That
Rose is underage, just so you know. Patty.
Yep, none for me.
Just extra tall with whipped cream.
Thanks.
And you guys have a lovely night. A lot of the townsfolk are caught between just like wanting to come up and thank you, but also like just being really weirded out and not knowing what to say, and so it's pretty quiet. And the morning comes after you've been offered, a spot to stay by anyone you'd like to crash with. Not only Patty here, who has several rooms upstairs in the diner, but like you wanted to crash at the sheriff's place or with any of the townsfolk, you're considered more than welcome. In the morning, amongst other things, the crew, the whole townsfolk offer the crew just a bag full of about $3,000 that they refuse to not let you take, just as some kind of thank you, and to see if you would like to help somebody else with it.
and that's what they say,
Yes.
so that we can help somebody else with it. Aw. I mean, I feel like we have to take the money, guys.
Oh, yes, we should take the money. We should absolutely take the money. We should definitely take the money.
And we should come back and visit.
Yeah, under
Um,
different circumstances.
If we live.
And the last group of people who were interested in talking to you on your way out were Chandra and Jesse.
I think you guys can leave now if you want.
Jesse's like, yeah, we were talking about that. Speaking everything over with my old man. I still don't know if there's a lot of things tying us here. I think that that moss or whatever might have just made my mom walk off and forget everything or something. Or maybe she really did just get tired. But I don't got a lot of ties around here. And Chandra's like, you saved my family, and I don't really know what to say about that. I want to be around here for my sister, but we were talking, and you guys said you were coming down here on behalf of Wellport PD, right?
Yeah.
Maybe as soon as we've got some money together, we were talking about moving out once me and my sister had a little bit of time. And I don't know, we could help or something if you ever need us.
As long as you understand that you could die, like literally any day. Just.
I mean, before you saved everybody without a fight happening, I was definitely rigging up an aerosol with some matches to come and fight whatever was hurting people.
It's a good
Perfect.
start.
Man, that's not a bad game plan.
We have a creepy basement you could stay in.
It's very creepy. They're not underselling that.
Jesse's like, hey, I ain't above couch surfing.
Well, I mean,
I
it's,
should,
it's the creepy basement or the haunted attic, so.
Yeah,
I should probably point out that this is, I think, the only time we've gone somewhere and solved a problem without killing 2-3 people at least.
It's true.
Well, you
I
did shoot my
only
dad.
shot one
Yeah,
person.
and that's us being nice.
that was necessary.
Shot him, punched him in the face, and maced him.
It's
Yeah,
just
he's
like
still
think
having a
about
hard time
everything before you commit, you know?
I'm just saying, you guys would be welcome.
For sure.
Yeah. Give us a month or two. You know, once things are settled a little bit, we'll probably move out there.
Cool. And then you can still come visit. You're not cut off.
Thanks to you.
The people here are weird, but I think they love you.
Yeah,
Don't get that
maybe.
up.
We'll find out, I guess. And then Chandra just nods. And they both walk off.
Back to campus.
I'm ready to go home.
I totally just missed a final.
It's gonna be fine. We'll make Aiden fix stuff so you can retake.
Wait, hold on. How can you retake a final? I thought it was the final one.
Well, you can get like a new test date.
Wait, but if it's the new final... I'm sorry.
It's not an Aiden one. It's a chem one.
Can Aiden kind of cheat it though and get you a retake?
With the chemistry department?
I don't know who he hangs out with.
I don't know who this Mr. Istri is, but trust me, you can talk anyone into anything. You just talk a bunch of mold into going to another world.
That's
You-
true.
We can have Willport PD call down and say that you helped recover a missing teenage girl. He might give you an extension on the exam. It's kind of a big deal.
That's right. We're legit now.
And we don't have any
actually do
bodies
it.
to give them, so I suppose that's a plus. All right, let's go home, guys.
Yeah.
All right. You guys pack up in the car. And as you begin to drive off, you do see one fairly disturbing sight of Callum just like holding on to himself as you drive off, kind of shaking a bit, watching you all drive.
Is he like in the forest, or is he like close enough to town?
He's like leaning around a building.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he'll come back later. I hope he finds peace.
You know he's not going to find peace in a Fae portal.
Well, he might find a piece of someone.
Good point.
Goodness.
You guys have any conversations you'd like to have on the way home or anything?
I am just going to, for the record, make sure that I'm putting stuff there. I'm going to record. I already know Jesse's mom's name. I'm going to try to track her down. I'm also going to try to track down all of Edith's and Rose's professors, see if any of them are, have any dirty laundry that I could use to, make sure they can retake finals.
His mom was named Jamie, and I will let DM determine whether the professors have any dirt on him. Any other business we got to clean up coming back into town?
Not really.
That's
All right.
I just want to point out to the crew that that's another win. That's another person we were told to find and help, who we found and helped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we
we
probably
Yeah, well, we're the good guys sometimes, I guess.
That's right. High five. Good guys.
Oh, fine.
know if I like this or not.
All right, and I feel like that's a pretty decent place to wrap then.
That's a wrap. So for everybody who normally watches us, we do this every Tuesday. If you want to catch up, because this was part 2, if you just popped in for today, you can catch part 1 in our episode archive here on Twitch, or you can also catch all our episodes. Everything is archived on our YouTube channel, which is the Society of Uncanny Pros. Usually we take a break mid thing, but this just like flowed so very nicely. Does everyone want to give a very brief 30-second introduction of what you're doing? Real quick, we'll start with Dan. Here, I'll pop everybody out.
You know, I realized we were running a bit short, but I hadn't understood that was because because I'd forgotten to give us a break, and we were actually running on normal time.
That sounds good.
Well,
good. Dan,
hey.
what do you do in your free time?
Well, in my not this time, I'm sometimes on a podcast. If you would like to say what's that, I would tell you, well, it's a recording that people listen to on various devices. And if you were able to say which is that, I would tell you it's Obligo del Diablo, a Mage, the Ascension, 5th edition, actual play podcast. And if you say, Dan, you ludicrous fool, you delusional maniac, you absolute danger to society, there is no Mage, the Ascension 5th edition. I would say that you are exactly our sort. Come and check the podcast out. If you like dark magical shenanigans, it's a beautiful, beautiful, sad time for everybody. That's Obligo del Diablo. You can find that by clicking on my name. Nobody wants me to spell it for you anymore.
It's on his name on our Twitch channel. If you are not watching on our Twitch channel, find us on Twitch and you can find it.
Boom.
Boom. We love you. So, Elle, our lovely design artist, if you've ever seen any of our art, it is her.
Hello. How's it going, everybody? Let's see, 30 seconds. I can do that, I think. So what I do is I make all kinds of sticker art. I do commissions. I got logos, all sorts of crazy stuff. If you want to check it out, I am on Etsy. So it's just etsy.com/shop and then Fatefully Elle. And that'll have all my stickers. It'll have super cool new art. And that's like mostly what I'm looking. Oh, see, someone has a sticker handy. That's a part of my tarot series, which are my favorite. So that's super fun. Chloe, what are you up to?
Mostly this. Also working on our little merch store, which you can find at uncannypros.art.
Uncannycreations.art.
Excuse me.
Got you.
Uncannycreations.art. I may be panic throwing together a cosplay for Comic-Con in like a week and a half. I don't know what's happening. We'll see. And then I have a little movie book club where we read movies and talk about, or we read books and talk about the movies that they were adapted into. And that is the last Thursday of every month. And this month we are doing Firestarter by Stephen King, which apparently that movie is an absolute mess. So this is going to be an interesting one because Stephen King is usually just so good.
Well, I mean, that checks. They made Zac Efron a dad, and I'm not ready for him being those kinds of roles.
To be a dad. No one is ready for that. But anyway, so Elle is working with our lovely Bill. I just called you lovely. On a project. Bill, what are you working on?
Currently working on I have one. So I have a role RPG company. Currently have one project that is on drivethrurpg.com. You can try to post that for me because I'm not so good with the interweb stuff. And I'm working on another project with Elle that one is more martial warrior type things. Working on more of an arcane caster type book with Elle, and she is doing artwork for a deck of many things type device. And we're going to actually have physical decks you can buy too that have the deck of many things plus all the crazy stuff I'm coming up with that I've already come up with, but all kinds of other things to make your players really freaked out when they pick out a card, and the ones who actually know the deck of many things, this isn't a card they've ever seen before, and you can describe the effects to them. But
I say this every time. Well, now that Stranger Things is actually out, but he's literally been playing since Stranger Things was playing.
And I started watching it. We watched a few episodes.
He knows what he's doing. So that's it, I think, for us. We love you guys. We would love to see you next week. Next Tuesday, I think I am DMing, and I have some ideas. So
Very exciting.
We are all excited for that.
maybe we can provoke some combat. We'll see.
Hopefully, I'm fully healed and I'm actually able to do my weird voices next time. Well,
Yeah.
these characters were going to have a much more diverse range.
And that was tons of fun. I like that a lot. That's a great story.
Last thing for everybody, we will be taking a break sometime in July or August, probably July. We'll let you know when exactly that is so that you know when it is, but it's going to be like a 2 or 3 week just hiatus because it's summer. But yeah, that's about it. We love you guys. We will see you next week.
All right. Have a great one, y'all. See ya.
And